dresser all the time. As a kid, my entire life, never did I walk into her room, see her praying or hear her praying. I have never, listen to me, to this day, I have never heard my mama pray. To this day. And I'm just now thinking about that. Never. Never came into me and my brother's room and said, I want to cover y'all in prayer real quick and say a prayer. I'm going to have to go look at Jude 123. Send me that. Never walked in the room and she's like, well, I'm finna go, let me cover y'all in prayer. We finna go outside knowing I was a horrible child. Let me cover you in prayer real quick. Not saying that she never prayed for me. I'm saying I had never heard it. It's people on this, I will guarantee you, it's over 100 people on this line right now. Your kids ain't never heard you cover them. Your kids ain't never heard you pray to yourself. Your kids ain't never seen you speak the word. Your kids know your favorite rap song and don't know your favorite scripture. That's a fact. I will guarantee you. They know your favorite meal. Don't know your favorite scripture. It's insane. It's the truth though. It's the truth. It's some people on here right now who have, listen to me, it's some people on here right now who have been hanging with their friends their entire life. Y'all done been to church together. Y'all might done heard each other grace the food. I guarantee you it's over 100 people right now have not told their friend, I want to cover you in prayer. Probably told your friend you praying for them. Ain't never said, I want to pray for you right now and speak the light and speak life over their friend. I will guarantee you it's over 100 people right now. And you call yourself a believer. What's going on with your QP? You call yourself a believer. You call yourself a vessel for the Most High. You call yourself a child of the King. The person who get down and ask the Most High for blessings, ask the Most High for guidance, ask the Most High for wisdom, ask the Most High to lead you, guide you, and do all of these things for you. And you have never prayed over now one of his children or potential children so they can see the light that's shining in you that'll glorify him in heaven. Never. You ain't never sit and started praying and gave these folks and let them hear that come out of you, and then after they gonna catch chills. But I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it caught my attention when my uncle done it. For one, because you got to give a hope for what it is that you believe in. The reason, listening to my uncle said it, for one, it was different. I know how everybody talk. I know how everybody carry themselves. I know half of the people I hang around as jackals and they lost and they doing everything under the sun to survive. But had I heard somebody say some of the stuff that he was saying, that person would have stood out. He said, be ye separate. Be ye separate. You ain't done nothing in your friend life, nothing in your family life, nothing in your co-worker's life, nothing in your children's life that has separated you to show that you have a spiritual connection to the King. Nothing. Everything that you has presented is the same thing that everybody in the world presenting. The way they live, the way they walk, the way they talk, what they listen to, and how they live. Everything in your life, you have not done nothing that demonstrate anything that you are connected in the source when it comes to the King. Other than probably when somebody get in trouble and then you want to tell them you want to have something to say. You ain't done nothing to demonstrate that you have a connection and a relationship to the creator of all mankind. Nothing. I walked my entire life until I got to prison. I knew a pastor. But I didn't. The pastor just, for me, when I went there and I heard him, that was cool. Out of all them people, all them adults I was around who went to church, who when I came in as a decoration, they had the Bible so it can make it look like they had some kind of relationship with God. I ain't never heard none of them people pray. The only people I heard pray was my Aunt Maud, my Aunt Jenny, Ain't Willie Jean, Ain't Willie Jean. That was it. Them was the ones other than that, ain't no cousin house I went to that was grown and said, boy, you been getting all that. Come on over, I'm finna anoint you with this oil, I'm finna pray for you. Not one. Just imagine that. Just look at the reality of that right there. Never. Couldn't I get listen? Them folk not only did they went to church every Sunday, never heard the word. Do you know? I could have just stopped it right there. It's some people who've been to church for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and have never heard the word. Never. It went here and here. I'm going to go even further with you. As a vessel, all honor to the Most High. It's people who've been to church 20 years and ain't saved. And here's how you can tell how. What happened when they get saved? What happens when you possess the Spirit and the power of the King? For one, your love for people is just on a different level. Your compassion, your patience, your mercy and grace is on a different level. For one, because you understand that I wasn't even worthy and he still graced me. He still saved me. He still allowed me. That's the number one thing. And that's where that fire comes from when most people get saved, where they ready to do so much, because you are so grateful that still, even though I done did so much, you still saved me. Second thing is, when Yeshua came to the disciples and he started teaching them the word, he was with them for 3 years. When he, hold on. When he started teaching them the word, he was with them for 3 years. And the goal was, I'm not going to always be here. And somebody got to be able to get this word to the children of the King later on in life. It's people who've been in church for 20 years. You have not planted, you have not watered, and gave the Most High an opportunity to give an increase. You want to believe because you had maybe one conversation or two. I ain't taking that from you if that's what you done. But you want to go to the throne every time you desperate, every time you in need, every time you broke, every time your relationship or your friendships go wrong, every time you got to switch, get a new job, every time something wrong with your car. You want to go to the throne every single time your life look like it's about to fall in shambles. But you have not done no witnessing. He said you will know them by their love for one another. You on call and check on your people. You ain't prayed for nobody out loud. Huh? But you'll say that you're saved. You'll bring up Paul. You'll bring up Peter. You'll bring up the disciples. You'll bring up Bartholomew. You'll remember Nathaniel. You'll bring up all the names of what the disciples done. He said, go and make disciples of all nations. My question to you is, if you are saved and you're being discipled, how are you not doing as a disciple but saying you're saved? You've been in church for 20 years. I was around people who had been in church for 20 years and saw my life was in shambles, in and out of juvie, in and out of jail. I had robbed folks. I had hit folks. I had sold drugs. I had done everything under the sun. Then these were some of the same people who were putting on a Sunday's best and going to church and never prayed with me and called themselves saved. You don't find that amazing? You don't find that amazing? That's insane. That's insane. But them same people, they'll pray for their abusive relationship. They'll pray for their abuser. They'll love people who mistreated them more than the people that they see need to love. You'll sit back and when he said listen, when he said that the sick need a physician, I was the sick at the time. He said there's 99. He said I'm gonna go after the one. I'm trying to figure out how is it that you got a church full of people. They see that all the one is outside. He said you sit amongst your brothers and kick it with them all the time. He said you know better than the tax collectors. And you will never go after the ones that you know that's lost. You will see them on the news and say, I knew that boys. You seen them at the corner store and you was scared of them, but you supposed to have the spirit of the Most High. The most powerful thing in this earth that we have. He said, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Talking about the spirit. You saw somebody that you felt was lost and was scared to say something to him. Or you judged it and said, I ain't even finna deal with that. I ain't finna deal with that. I get what you're saying, but you ain't prayed for nobody. Your prayer never reached it. Your prayer life, it was trash. I'm going to tell you that now. Your prayer life was trash because you had doubt. Anytime you got some kind of form of doubt, listen to me. He ain't trying to, because you don't believe what you saying. You don't believe the prayers you pray over yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. Because your actions show it. Because your behavior show it and your lifestyle show it. You've been praying for the same thing for the last 5 years and ain't nothing changed. You want to blame him and not yourself. That is insane. That is the definition of insanity right there. You repeating the same process, hoping to and want the same results, and you ain't done none of the work yourself. You got that's insane, ain't it? You don't even believe in your own prayer life and you think you saved. Quit playing these reindeer games out here with the king as if he's not all knowing and all seeing and all powerful. You sitting here talking to the creator of all mankind. You'll sit up here and boo-hoo these alligator tears, got up and kept living the same old life and called yourself saved. Quit playing these reindeer games. He said there's going to be a lot of people going to stand before me and say, I did this in your name and I did that in them. No, you didn't, because if you did anything in my name, you would have been living different. The results would have been different. Everything would have been different. You just said it. You ain't did nothing. It's over with. Come on, bro. I walked out of prison 7.5 years ago. Let me tell you something. I walked out of prison 7.5 years ago. The fire that I had, I still have it. I just done matured in the word. But a lot of people want me to continue to still cast my pearl before the swine. And when I don't move and do it the way that they saw me do it in the beginning, what they have not realized is my process, what I've learned, where I've matured at, and what I've gained and what I realized I need to not do. You want me, y'all be wanting vessels out here to break their life, break themselves and go crazy to continue to do stuff with people who do not even care. They do not want it. They do not hear. They just want to keep being fed. They just want to keep being fed, to keep being fed, keep being fed. It's so many of these people who go to these conferences. You sit in these conferences, these people speak over you. They tell you all of these things, and guess what? You still never go. You go to work the next day and you say, man, I was in there and they listen to me. I got a prophetic word. That prophet told me that this and that and this and that. It's been 8 years later and ain't nothing came to pass, and you can't wait to go to that same conference to hear them tell you that again, just so you can get you a little false sense of hope and keep doing what you doing. That's insane right there. And people don't want to hear that. You don't believe in your own prayer. Because if you will get on your knees and you will talk to the king, listen, we ain't talking about no human being. You will talk to the creator of all mankind and get up. Say you saved and nothing changed. It's crazy. I ain't perfect by far. I got plenty of flaws, and guess what? I earn them out. It don't bother me because I know don't nobody got no heaven or hell to put me in. He said, don't fear the one that can destroy the body, and that's man. He said, but fear the one that can destroy the soul and the body. That's the creator. So it's nothing that a man can do to me. I don't owe a man nothing. I owe everything to the king. I sit here and air it out, and I don't care if you unfollow me, don't like me, don't support me ever again. Because at the end of the day, this is what I know. To be absent of the body for me is to be present with the king. I'll be out of here and we'll be up here having a ball. Do you hear me? We'll be having a ball. So look, check this out. So all of that don't matter to me. But the fire that I had then has just matured. When you start understanding casting your pearl before the swine, you will approach things different you'll move different. Your walk will look different. It doesn't mean I don't love people. It don't mean that I can't be patient with people. It don't mean that I'll grieve the spirit, because it's a lot of times where I feel like my guy dang, I can't believe I just forgot his name, the one that was supposed to go to Nivea. I don't like that. Hold on. No, hold on. The one that was who was supposed to go to Nivea. Let me ask y'all that before I look it up real quick. I just said Noah, Jonah. The one that was supposed to go. Sometimes I feel like Jonah. I'm like, look, King. I'm not finna go over and holler at them people. I ain't got nothing else to say to them people. They not hearing me. And he say, I told you what to do. You got to go over and holler at them anyway. And it is what it is. And guess what? I do it all imperfected and flawed. Listen, that's the truth. I do it all for him, imperfected and flawed. And it ain't a human being on this planet who can condemn me, because in him there is no condemnation. That is the word. So for anybody to think they can fix their mouth and say, well, Joe T said, Joe T did, you don't have a heaven or hell to put me in. You can't condemn me. It's no condemnation in him. Not saying that I can abuse grace, but what you ain't gonna do is treat me like you ain't gonna need that same mercy, because you ain't perfect either. Quit playing them Ranger games with me, because you will go and listen to your pastor every Sunday who got so many flaws, but he got to stand up here like he's some supernatural human being, and he ain't gonna let you see that his armor got holes in it too. And then when a scandal come out, you looking and saying, I can't believe that. And for some reason, I don't know why you ain't said to yourself that I should have known that he ain't perfect, because he ain't. Because when you put that kind of pressure on people, that's why they cannot walk on this walk now. You putting too much pressure and thinking my connection to the King and my blessings is tied in my perfection. Is not. It's tied in my obedience. You wonder why you look up and you see these pastors fall, and then they got to come out and they got to get their PRs and all of these people in the board to give them the statement to go up here and say something, boom, 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 boom. It's because they done had to stand up here and they trying to convince you with their works. Listen, they trying to convince you with their works, how they look, how they walk, how they talk, that you can do this. And now you wondering why it's hard for you to have the relationship with the Most High, because you thinking you got to do it by works. You thinking you got to be perfect. You thinking all of it, and that ain't how it work. And then they look up and they see, man, well, Joe T, he be online, cut show did, and you just didn't see your bishop do it. You just didn't see your pastor do it. Your pastor just can't be that transparent and that vulnerable because he's got to be politically, religiously correct. I don't, because I answer to him. Yeah. Quit playing these reindeer games out here, man. I came home. I don't say this prideful or boastful. But in your journey, pay attention who the Most High allow you to exceed. It's a lot of people that I can look back and see have not grown, and it's because of what they sit up under. My uncle used to tell me all the time, who you sitting up under, it will show you everything. I can look back now and see so many people I started out with in ministry, whether we was doing music, whether we was doing testimony, whatever the case may be. I can go back and look now and see that their cop-out for why they have not grown is that they have not compromised, and that's not the truth. The truth is, it's what you sitting up on, it's what you sitting up under, and it has not liberated you yet. So you got the mindset of, you got that poverty-stricken mindset, and you come up with ways to cope as to why you're not succeeding. And then you allowing that pastor or that preacher to continue to tell you that your blessing is coming. And the truth of the matter is, it's not coming because you're being disobedient. And then you got a word in you, you got a gift down in you, and you still won't step out on it because in your mind you've been so religiously programmed, it doesn't look like the church that you have been taught. It don't sound like the church that you have been taught. It don't dress like the church that you have been taught. But you got to understand, when it comes to your ministry, it ain't too many people who going to be able to tell you how to do it. Only thing they're going to be able to do is tell you how to confirm it. And the reason you ain't never going to get your confirmation is because you sitting around religious people thinking they should look a certain way. It should sound a certain way. You supposed to talk a certain way. And you wondering why the Most High ain't been able to send you no confirmation yet. And then when he come around and he give you somebody like me to come and give you the confirmation, you walk off wondering like, can I really do that? I don't know how the church going to feel about that. And I'm telling you, that's the word right there. That was the word. And you scared because you so caught up in religion. So when I started doing what I knew I was unctioned to do, I watched, listen, because I don't want to talk about the material thing. I don't want to talk about the material thing. I'm talking about the release on my mind, the release on my spirit. And then he said, seek ye first my kingdom, my righteousness, and all things will be added unto you. By the time I started being obedient to what it was he was asking me, telling me to do, life changed. And I watched a lot of people with that religious mindset because I knew I was going to fall. I know I'm not going to do everything perfect. But what I ain't going to do is I ain't going to let you try to control the gift that's in me because you thinking my gift is supposed to go through the same process yours went through. No. Don't you force your convictions on me. Don't you force your calling on me, and don't you try to force your process on me, because that's just not how it's going to work. So by the time I started doing what I was doing, I watched a lot of them religious people back up, and the enemy try to creep in and tell me, well, that might not be a God right there, because them church folks wasn't never in tuned in the first place. Get thee behind me, Satan, because what you ain't going to do is try to convince me that I ain't connected to the king because I see fruit. You can't fool a vessel. You can't fool a vessel that's in the word. I sit back and I watch them people. Where is the fruit? You trying to convince me. You trying to get in my ear and say, you compromise a little bit, you doing too much. But I'm looking at people who ain't producing fruit. So you gonna get behind me, say, them folks ain't produced no fruit. Them folks still ain't made no disciples. Them folks still ain't went out and witnessed. Them folks' life still don't line up with what it's supposed to look like when it comes to the king. Quit playing with me. Huh? Dad, quit playing with me. The majority of my family right now have been to church their entire life. And y'all know I don't sugarcoat nothing. Show me where you're looking, and show me a demonstration of the king being in your life. If not, please don't come over here trying to tell me what's going on, because I can show you. I can show you. We can sit there and have a conversation. I can show you. What you gonna be able to give me is that cop-out catchphrase everybody be using. He ain't always, but he always on time. Do what? No, you disobedient. That's what it is. He just came through and rescued you because he's a loving God. And he came through with his grace and mercy, and he went on and done it for you, but you're disobedient. And so you want me as a black man who has been through hell and back, only want to be able to say, well, he didn't do it when I wanted him to, but he done it on time. Whatever, he want to do it for me all the time. You can get thee behind me, say, I ain't buying that right there. You can keep that generational curse over there with the people who want to remain in that generational curse, because that ain't gonna what's fly over here with me. And I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. Do what? He ain't always here, but do what? Now you disobedient. That's why you broke. You disobedient. That's why you still at that job, and you so fixated on you need them benefits, because they got you believing that that's how it's supposed to work, and you blessed behind that. That's why you still in that relationship that you in, because you disobedient. That's why it ain't gonna work out the way because you disobedient, and then you want to continue to tell yourself whatever lie you convincing yourself, and the truth of the matter is you just ain't saved. Yeah, that's what it all gonna boil down to. If you save, there's an unction in your spirit. It's just it's a demonstration. Life is in you. I ain't saying you ain't gonna have. I ain't gonna say you ain't gonna have struggles. I ain't gonna say you ain't gonna war with your flesh. He said the spirit is willing. He said the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. I ain't say you ain't gonna war with your flesh. It talk about the flesh all through the scripture. But the truth of the matter is, listen to me, the spirit gonna always win. Quit playing. I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, and that's it. Man, y'all be blessed. Y'all be cool how y'all be cool, man. You know, all honor to the Most High. And I know it's a lot of people just, you know, you're going to go on back to you. But let me say this. Say your yes tonight. Say your yes tonight. Yeshua died for you. Point blank period. Stretched wide for you. Pierced in the side for you. You hear me? They put my man in the tomb, and guess what? He bust up out of it for you. That's it. If you ain't confess the King, confess the King. If you feel like when you confess the King, when you did it, and you need to do it again, you need to get down on your knees, confess the King. And then look, and then check this out. And then this another thing right here. He said you have a high priest who can sympathize with all your weakness because he was tempted at every point, yet he was still without sin. Listen to me. It ain't nothing that you done. It ain't nothing that you done that he didn't see and that he didn't know you wasn't gonna, that you wasn't gonna do. Guess what? He went through it for you. He said you can still come boldly to the throne. You need to go boldly to the throne, man, and go ahead and lay it down. And lay it down. He ain't asking you to be perfect. He ain't asking you. He didn't ask me. He didn't ask me to be perfect. I was facing a life sentence when I confessed Christ and caught the Spirit. You hear me? I've been home. And that was in 2010. We're in 2024. I didn't have to be perfect, and I had no idea what was going to happen after that happened. But this is what you have to. This is the most prevalent thing I think. Is heeding. You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to read the word to learn him. A lot of people say, "Well, I don't know what he sound like." You saying you don't know what he sound like? Somebody feeling like it. I don't know who it is. Whoever it is feeling that, come on here and say that. There's a lot of people who saying, I don't know what he sound like. I don't know how to. It's a lot of, I don't know. It's the same way, just like with your friends. If you around your friend for years, you know what pushes their buttons. You know if they emotional. You know if they sensitive. You know they likes. You know they dislikes. It's because you've been around them and you've read them. Just like a book, just like they read you. It's the same thing when it comes to him. The Bible is a blueprint. It'll expose he spoke to people in dreams. It'll expose to you he spoke to people. He spoke through vessels to confirm his word. It'll expose to you how he moved when it come to your character, when it come to your integrity, when it come to people. It'll expose who's for you, who's not for you. It'll expose who's in the kingdom and who's not in the kingdom. It'll expose your enemies and it'll expose those who are in the kingdom. Your blueprint is in the word. You wondering why the enemy keep beating you up and keep attacking you, and then you gotta go and you gotta sit up under your pastor because the scripture says study to show thyself approved. You can't fight in warfare because you ain't got no armor, and you ain't got no armor because you ain't winning red. Now everybody can. Now let me say this. I understand everybody cannot understand the word, and that's where the teachers and the preachers are important. Write down what you need to write down that'll hold you. You ain't got to understand everything. Go get what'll hold you and learn how to fight in the spiritual warfare. And you can't use that as an excuse. Because you know how to quote a song when you into it with your significant other to throw a sub. It's the same way you use it. The same way you can throw a sub at your significant other by playing a song is the same way you can throw a sub to the enemy to let him know that I see you trying to be crafty. I see you trying to get in my mind. I see you trying to get in my head. And you can quote a scripture the same way you can quote a song. It's the same. So we ain't going to let you use that as an excuse. You can't be tired of fighting. They said don't get weary about doing good. But I sympathize with what you're saying. He said, resist the enemy, he'll flee. Resist the enemy, he'll flee. You know how to quote you know how to throw a sub. You know how to throw a sub. Go get you a scripture. Go to Corinthians when it say cast down every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High. When that enemy get to playing on your mind, trying to get you forget who you are and who you belong to and what it is you capable of doing, you know for a fact that's not him talking. He said cast that down. It's a high thing that's trying to exalt itself against who he called you to be. It said cast it down. It's just dead light. I rebuke that. That's not from the king. Boom, boom. And it's still a process. Because in the beginning phases of anything, it's a process. It said cast it down onto the obedience of Christ. He said, and then crush that thing. That's just what it is. You hear me? And then here's another. Because you're going to get a lot of people going to feel like, oh, you think you better than woo. And listen, he said, whoever is in Christ is a new creation. Old things that pass away, behold, all things have become new. I'm not going to let you fight that. I'm not going to let you put that on me right there. And then you're going to get discouraged with a lot of things. You're going to get discouraged with a lot of things. But he said, look, go to Philippians, what my guy said. He who started a good work, he'll complete it unto the day of Christ. Just stand on that right there. Because his word ain't going to turn back to him void. If he said it, if it's in his will and it's for you, I promise you it's going to happen. If not, let that go and let it go, because it's not. Listen, if it ain't for you and it ain't in his will, quit trying to force it in there and let that thing go. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah, he gonna complete it. I'm watching him do it every day in my life, and that's the only reason why, and that's the main reason why I'm an advocate. This is the reason why I am still, because I watch him every day do something. I know it could be something this small. I know it's him. I know it's him. I know it's him. Y'all be blessed, man. Y'all hold it down, man. It's been cool. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Say your prayers, man. You know Christ gave his life for you. And then listen to me. He want to give you life and he's going to give it to you freely. And please do not refuse to give that to somebody else freely. If you ain't prayed for nobody, start practicing that. Just tell somebody you want to pray with them. You might not say it right. You might be nervous or feel like you ain't saying it right, but go ahead and start practicing it, because the word, where we going right now, this is about to become something we are going to need to know how to do and teach each other how to do. Prayer is about to be very important. You got to pay attention to the time we in. And there's some people that you need to pray for, and you need to let them know they need to pray for somebody. And you need to be saying this stuff out loud. Quit lying to people saying you praying for them and you knowing you ain't praying for them. Quit jumping in people's comment section and throwing up and praying hands and you knowing for a fact you ain't sent up no prayer for them. And when you praying, please do not pray selfishly, because I promise you the Most High already know your needs. He know everything that you need. You need to get in there. You need to pray for the kingdom. You need to pray for his vessels, the strength, the guidance that they need, the leadership that they need, the pruning that they need. You need to pray for the kingdom. He know your every need. Quit going in there and asking for a husband. You ain't even fit for a husband. Quit going and ask for a wife. You ain't even fit for a wife. Quit going in there and asking for a better job opportunity, and your character and your mindset and your mouth is awful. Quit doing all that. He know your needs. He know your needs. Go in there and pray for the kingdom. If you go pay attention to the prayer of Solomon. Solomon said, give me what Solomon asked for the wisdom for his people. He said, on the strip of you asking for the wisdom of your people, I'm going to give you everything. He said, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness. All things will be added on you. Quit praying selfishly. He already know your needs. He already know. He said he said the birds of the air, he said he feed them. He know what's going on. He know you need to eat every day. He know you need to survive. He know it's a tough economy. He know that. But listen to me. I promise you, when you praying for his vessel, you praying for his people, for their strength so they can continue to go out and do his will, I promise you, he going to add everything you need in your life. Practice it. And don't think, I did it, Joe T. I did it one time and I ain't. But you went and prayed it one time and then show nothing in your action. He said, be a doer of the word, not a hearer. Don't think that he's sitting up there and you can just manipulate him because he ain't a human. Y'all be blessed.